I do think we are live. I think so. I think we're good to go. Okay, it has been a whirlwind of a week, and as you can see from the title of this live event, we're talking about value packs. But before I get into that, I'm going to ramble about a couple little things because it's my live stream and I can if I want to. So there's that. This week was GITEX, all the way across the Atlantic in Dubai. An amazing event that was going to be a new event to me. Super excited to have the opportunity to go create some cool content, meet amazing team members that I haven't met before, and COVID. Yeah, I'm sure many of you have been there, and it just sucks to be right at the verge of pulling off some really cool content, being a part of an amazing event like that, and having a stupid sickness from some little kid that coughed in your kid's face just derail the whole thing. So, as of about a day and a half now, I am most of the way over the hump. I'm still getting rid of coughs, a little bit of energy slump, so I'm going to try not to cough in your face right during this broadcast, but so glad to be thawing out of that finally. If you missed the coverage, though, of GITEX, it was an amazing event. They had the Sheikh, the leader of the nation of the UAE, walking the halls of the event, the expo floor. How cool is that? When have you ever, at Infocom or any other big U.S.-based event, seen the president walking down the expo floor? I've never seen that. I think that would be amazing. At any rate, there was lots of cool things there, and of course, Jabra kicked butt on the floor. It was a great event. They had a beautiful booth, lots of cool things to show, and a phenomenal team. So, bummed I couldn't go. Looking forward to next year. Looking to the future now and moving past all that. Today, what I actually want to talk about are value packs. I'm not sure if you've ever heard us at Jabra refer to value packs, and if you have, maybe it's made you scratch your head and say, what does that even mean? Is that some kind of bundle of devices or solutions that you're selling? And excuse me, told you, tried not to, but it happens. But what it is essentially is a firmware upgrade, what we all think about as a firmware upgrade. I wouldn't say it's outright what we think of as a firmware upgrade, but the same principle stands. You're deploying a software package to a hardware device to do something to the hardware device, to improve it, to fix something, whatever the case may be. And so we call them value packs because we look at them as so much more than a firmware upgrade. So many times people just equate a firmware upgrade as, oh, hey, improvements and security fixes and bug fixes and general niceties. Yay, you updated it. And you just kind of hit update and move on and your life goes on. You don't think anymore about it. That is not how we view upgrades. That's why we call them value packs, because we look at them as we are bringing brand new, net new capabilities to your device. We are taking the thing that you already bought, that's already good for all these reasons, and making it better for even more reasons by bringing brand new functionality. That's the whole idea here, right? And so you've got value packs for all kinds of devices in the Jabra ecosystem. But today, now that we've established what a value pack is, we're going to talk very briefly about the most recent value pack for the PanaCast 50. So the PanaCast 50, that front of room collaboration bar that we have had in our portfolio for some time now, that amazing 180 degree field of view. Excuse me again. Lots of cool stuff, AI features that are already present on that. Now, of course, we just released the PanaCast 50 video bar system, which is the Android version of this bar. But it's different, right? It's a new device. It's a little wider. Value packs for it are going to be different and on a different cadence than value packs for the PanaCast 50. So today we're talking about value pack 4 for the PanaCast 50, released just last week, no, the week before, the week of Zoomtopia, it was released. Now, there are several features that I want to call out that there were several features released with Value Pack 4, but two of them, in my book, were the highlights, right? They were the stars of the show, and those are the two that I want to cover today. The first of those, let's change gears here, has to do with voice recognition functionality on the device. Now, this is specific to the Microsoft Teams world. You like my little circle video thing I have in here? I think it's cool. I was playing around and watched a little video, and hey, how can I make my video feed in OBS Studio a circle? And it's actually really simple and easy. I can't believe I didn't know how to do that, but here it is. I like it. I got to circle me in this video. Moving on. I saw a squirrel and I'm distracted. Voice recognition functionality in the Microsoft Teams world has to do with the intelligent speaker category of certification, right? That's where we've seen a few devices come out into the category that these devices are little center of room pucks. They sit in the middle of a table, and they are able to ingest people's voices like microphones should be able to, and process those voices in a way to where they send the voice, the analyzed voice, to the cloud. And when users in that Microsoft Teams environment have opted into using Intelligent Speaker and submitted their voice profiles to the Microsoft Cloud, that data in the meeting can now be compared to those voice profiles, and people can now be identified in the meeting, in transcripts and beyond. When you think other Microsoft cool AI capabilities coming out or that are out, where people are identified by voice and then cool recaps are done, think about those things. Voice recognition functionality is needed to do that. And to date, all of those devices have been separate devices sitting at the center of your table in that conference room. The PanaCast 50 is the first front-of-room device that is not a separate device that is doing that functionality with something you've already paid for and already deployed at the front of the room. That means you do not have to buy a separate device to make this happen, to turn this on and utilize this capability in your Microsoft Teams environment. How cool is that? Very cool is the answer. It's very cool. So playing this video on screen, you kind of get a feel of what this looks like. Look, we've got people in a room, lots of other participants. They're named because they're individual participants. But now we've got speaker 3 in the conference room. Intelligent Speaker allows you to identify that person, and you need the right tools in the room to be able to do that. That is exactly what is happening in this scenario. You are taking speaker 3 in the conference room, identifying them by their voice because you've got a device that's certified to do that in the room, PanaCast 50 now, and based on that database in the cloud, you can now get a transcript with accurately named individuals. And now, intelligent meeting recaps and other tasks, notes, AI-generated content can now be associated with a specific individual. Again, not how cool is that, it's really freaking cool. So that is the first big feature I want to cover, that voice recognition functionality. Let's jump over and talk about one other piece of functionality here. I'm just going to fast forward this video just a tad, and it's called Intelligent Meeting Space. We're going to cover this Intelligent Meeting Space functionality. This is something where we are talking about not a Microsoft specific functionality. This is for whatever the platform being used is, right? But as I push play on this video, we see this in action. You've got a room with people in it. You've got a glass wall back there. Someone walks the door and says hi, and in our own intelligent Zoom says, oh, let's expand the frame and take a look at that person. We don't want to take a look at that person because they're not in the meeting. They were interrupting the meeting. They shouldn't be included to the far end in that intelligent Zoom. So Intelligent Meeting Space says, hey, I'm going to go ahead and ignore that individual. Go back just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and ignore that individual. We're going to cut them out so that our other intelligent modes, like Intelligent Zoom, are not going to factor that non-group person into our meeting. So as my colleague Michael Tressler so eloquently put it in his own fashion that only he can do, we're using intelligence to ignore intelligence, right? We are saying, hey, we're going to use intelligent meeting space to ignore people so that our other intelligence can work with in the way that it should without factoring in other people that may be there that aren't part of the meeting. So when you think about where this matters most, think about rooms like this where you've got glass walls or a glass backing to it, open meeting spaces where there are no walls. You've got people walking around, but you really should only pay attention to the little group huddled around the meeting space. Two big use cases where the other one that, like my colleague Parker Dunbar pointed out during our little video at Zoomtopia, divisible meeting spaces. There are several use cases where you need to ignore people that are seen by the camera but shouldn't be seen by the camera. So in my book, those are by far the two biggest enhancements, new features brought to the PanaCast 50. And again, there were other capabilities brought. So you'll want to check out release notes on Value Pack 4 because very cool new things were added. But those are the stars of the show. Those are things that if you're not using them in your environment now, and chances are you're not because you're probably just learning about them, you may want to. They may be very big deals to you. If you're a Microsoft Teams shop, Intelligent Speaker may be something that you want to utilize in your meeting spaces. If you are just an organization that is struggling with these new open meeting concepts and glass walls, you may want Intelligent Meeting Space. And now you don't have to get new devices to do it. You just need to update your existing meeting spaces to do it. That is mind-blowing. Cool stuff. I love how we have architected the PanaCast family of devices to just keep getting better over time by adding new capabilities to that set of processors that lives on board. That's all I've got for you on this Friday afternoon. Value Pack 4 is out there. It is cool. I hope that you are going to be checking it out now. You need to make sure that you've updated your PanaCast 50 via Jabra Direct or Jabra Express or however you're updating your devices. You might need to update Jabra Direct or Express to Jabra Direct, to get that update and have it work. But update it, enjoy it, take it out. Let me know in the comments what you think of this, if you tried it out, what your experiences are. I cannot wait to see this out in the wild and hear your feedback on it. And I'm getting a call right in the middle of this, so I'm going to go ahead and this is what happens when you don't put your phone on the silent, and you really should have during a live. And that's why lives are just so beautiful. Thanks for tuning in on a very busy Friday. I know I popped to the top of your list once you saw me in that live stream. Hope it was useful. Share it with everybody. Share it in the next week if you want to. We'll be back next week with even more content. So stay tuned and have a fantastic weekend. All right. Live stream ended and...